My persuasive speech is going to look into the issue of homelessness in America. The goal of the speech is to persuade the audience that a policy should be implemented to tackle the issue. The main point that should be known from the beginning is that my goal is not a policy that will temporarily help these people, but a policy that will help them for the future. According to the White House Council of Economic Advisors, on any given night here in the United States, there are more than 500,000 people homeless. Of these people that are homeless, 2/3 of them can be found in homeless shelters and the other third can be found on the streets. The reason I picked this topic is because I've seen homelessness firsthand my whole life. From going to a Cardinals game, to going to the Arch, to traveling to other big cities, it is everywhere and is clearly a problem. My perspective comes from firsthand how these people were living. Seeing the issues made me want to look into the avenues that need to be taken to fix the problems. The main part of the speech is going to focus on what the proposed policy will entail. The first thing I will talk about in this policy is the housing market. The next main focus will be housing provided by government, and the last main focus will be on assistance programs to help them gain traction out of homelessness. I wanted to prioritize these elements because they have the potential to have the longest lasting and most effective impact. So for the longest time, there has been issues with the housing market. In large cities, the cost of living has been driven up, leaving low-income workers on the verge of homelessness. The main factor that has caused this is over-regulation of the housing markets. The policy needs to look into stepping back some of these regulations to prevent from driving up the cost of living. Just to look at how big of an impact this has had, we can turn to the Council of Economic Advisors from the White House. They estimated that if just 11 of the country's most impacted cities focus on deregulating their housing markets, the overall amount of homelessness in the United States would decrease by a staggering 13%. Federal housing assistance programs as well will help make a huge impact on the homeless population. The main form of this today that everyone knows is Section 8 housing, or government-provided living. Putting a roof over people's heads is one of the first steps needed to start escaping homelessness. One of the first places that did this was New York, and they have one of the leading programs. According to the Coalition for the Homeless, this program is one of the cheapest programs, yet one of the most effective to battle homelessness. It provides people with a roof over their heads while they can help out their mental or physical issues under government subsidized living until they are better physically and mentally. And the last thing we're going to focus on is assistant programs for mental illness, addiction, and any other health issues. Many of these issues are the reason these people are homeless, and so they need to be addressed to help them return to their old lives. Many of the assistance programs are partnered hand in hand with the government subsidized living. The assistance is much more effective if they are not just going back to the streets at the end of the night, if they have a roof over their head. Overall, the goal of these assistance programs is simple. Fix physical and mental issues and put these people on a path upwards. A path where they will one day be able to get a job and maybe even support themselves. The bottom line is simple. This problem cannot continue to exist in the United States. With how developed our country is and how successful most people are, there should not be over 500,000 people living homeless every night. Also, to think that the number is probably way higher than 500,000, it is just almost impossible to get a count of this. The reason I wanted to talk about implementing this policy is because of how overshadowed the issue truly is. Our government, as well as all of us, we focus on first world problems every day, overlooking all this homelessness. Many of these people, it's not even their fault that they're homeless as they are. While we wait for a policy like this to be implemented, just know that there's still other ways to help. The National Coalition for the Homeless wants people to know that any little effort can make a difference. The policy is essential, though, because having problems on for so long without much change is just too hard to change without significant action. It is the only way to fully solve this issue for the future to come.